Hi everyone. We have folks here, some folks following this stream. So since we're a few minutes early, I think we're gonna repeat ourselves a little bit here, but I think so. We are trying something new with our faces. They're gonna show on top of the stream. So I think the best experience you guys can have following this is the Twitch. So you'll see on top of Laurent's slide, you'll see his face and my face when I talk at the beginning. After that, it's gonna be just Laurent and you guys working on stuff. So I think that the Discord, you might want to mute when we do the outro and the intro, but it's up to you. And as we did last time, I encourage people to move over the table. So, oh, we have an issue, I think. Oh, yes, it's okay, Julien. Don't worry about it. You have 5 minutes. I'm gonna repeat all of this anyway. Yeah, so what I was saying is I encourage people to move over to the tables, and from there just chat with peers and follow the Twitch, so you know when there is gonna be interactions with like hints or stuff like that. Then you can switch back to the channel, the voice channel, or you can listen strictly on Twitch. It sounds complicated, but it's not, and I think this is the closest that we've got to in the flesh Montreal. Yeah, I mean, and if you want to work by yourself, feel free to just stick on the live channel. Doesn't matter, right? But what we record is the Twitch, and this is what we want. This is where we want the experience to be the best. So it's 7 p.m. We're not getting started yet. I think I'm gonna wait on a message from Julien before we do so. But welcome, and tonight's challenge is gonna be Giga.ctf. An interesting challenge from NorthSec 2019, designed by Laurent. Giga, as you can see. Am I following the Twitch right? So the screen is not shared yet, but for those on Discord, you'll see that it's kind of a wink or an homage to Mega. So it's Giga, your download site. So that's a little bit of a hint, or maybe a spoiler from what Laurent wants to say later. But without, I guess, further ado, Laurent, if you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the people that are here, feel free to do so.
I think there's going to be some music first by Julien, I think.
Oh, there's some
really
preparation.
All right. So if I'm going on Twitch right now, you guys don't see my screen on Twitch. Soon enough, you should see it. I hope.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag between the two, but
no worries. In fact, there's quite a lag. Yeah. All right, so can you guys see my screen? I assume yes. So quick challenge, very simple challenge called the Giga.ctf. It's a homage to Mega Upload. So it's a fairly easy to medium challenge. It's not something you guys, I think, will struggle with. You don't need IDA, you don't need any very large anything complicated. Basically, all you need to do to solve it is a tool to read Pcap, something like Wireshark or Ethereal for the olders. Is recommended. A text editor to read the source code in a browser. For information, this was a challenge that was worth 3 points at NorthSec, so it's assumed to be roughly like the worst case is something around 3 hours. I guess you guys will have a little bit more than this, a little bit less than this, but I think you're gonna have no problem solving it. So when you're ready, you'll see where you can download the Pcap, and the website is giga.montrehack.ca. You can find this information as well on montrehack.ca, and in the Pcap as well, you should find the address of Giga as well. And if that's not enough, we're here for support both in the chat and on Twitch. So if you're ready, here's the URL again. So that was really short, but I think it's a good introduction to how to start a very simple challenge, Giga.ctf. Thanks, guys.
So, for those who weren't there at the beginning, the way we encourage people to work on this is to go move over to a table. People who want to work in teams, we created a few of them. We can even create more, as I noticed that we're more and more month after month. Follow on the with a window open on the Twitch with sound, so that if Laurent ever starts speaking again, you can listen to him and go and look at the hints. This way you get like best of both worlds, like a way to work in team and a way to be aware when there's important information being sent to everyone, broadcasted to everyone. Also at the end of the Montreal hack, after the solution, I'm gonna do a short interview with Laurent to discuss the context around the challenge, and maybe we'll try to leak some of the stuff or the ideas for 2021. We never know. And also after that, we're gonna host Secret Hitler games, or maybe Jackbox TV, depending on who's there and what people want to play. But so if you feel like you want to socialize, feel free to hang around after 10. That's Eastern daylight. So without further ado, I encourage you guys to hack the planet, or at least Giga.ctf. Have fun.
On my shoulder and make me feel like I'm the one. So go and cry on my shoulder, so you can find someone but me to hold you. Let's just say our last goodbye, but now you can lay down for a while and cry on my shoulder, so you can find someone but me to hold you, dear. Let's just say our last goodbye, but now you can lay down for a while and cry on my shoulder, so you can find someone but me to hold you, dear.
Caught up in nothing, wasting your time. Everybody get up, it's the party song. Everybody get up, it's a party song.
Can I say no when it comes to you? I'm addicted to you. Why do I always find myself right back at you? You make a fool of me. I no longer wanna feel, 'cause I know I don't need you. You're no good for me. I don't wanna feel, 'cause I know you're no good for me. Oh no. When you stand behind me, baby, I never wanna let you go. I can be everything you ever needed. And I can't see, and I can't breathe. I don't want your body if I can't have your soul. It's like you just don't know what's going on between me and you. Can you be so blind? Nobody, 'cause this feeling, and there's not more going on. I'm here to wake you up now. I no longer wanna feel, between two different things. Yeah, I'm thinking too much, I'm bursting at the seams. Tell me I'm not lost out at sea. Tell me they are listening to me, feeling misplaced. Someone rescue me. Someone rescue me. Someone take me. I'm floating. Someone
Help me see, I'm blinded by your love. You follow me, but I don't know where to go. There are stars which we cannot see. They still shine if we disbelieve. Lonely gems in the canopy, burning bright, just like you and me. heart broken down, I went blind. Will you come back and save me now? 'Cause I crashed and burned to the ground. I love you like the glitter in the sky. I love you like a lion had gone blind. Is on the floor. Pictures of you, but I want more. 'Cause I loved you. Will you come back and save me now? 'Cause I crashed and burned to the ground. You like the glitter in the sky. I love you like a lion had gone blind. Seems like I've forgotten how to breathe. I am trapped in sin and I can't leave. Storm, bring air, strike her, the slave. Believe me when I say I know a broken heart. Believe me when I say I know a broken storm bring my heart, I am falling up. Seems like I did not know you would leave. Just go now and take it from me. Storm, bring air, strike her, the slave. Believe me when I say I know a broken heart. Believe me when I say I know a broken storm bring And it may be true, 'cause we don't get a chance. It's like I don't know what's left. Baby, I would never say the way you choose to the queen. Can you hold so firm, never wanna let it go. It's like we're just stuck again.
So there are many steps to solving this challenge. So I felt that 1 hour in, I can show you the first step of the challenge. It's fairly simple. So what you see on my screen here is the tool Wireshark. And basically what it is you have all the network capture. So at this point, you should all have downloaded capture.pcap, and you should be able to open it in Wireshark. When you're in Wireshark, you can see a TCP stream. So you right-click, follow, and then you have either TCP or HTTP stream, and that allows you to see exactly what is being sent. Instead of reading bytes, you have a plain text version that is much better to manage. Are there so the first question you should ask yourselves is, are there any interesting part? Well, one thing you might want to look at is this post here. So in web, there are two main verbs being used. They're not the only ones, but there are gets and posts. And a get, the get action usually fetches a file or an image or something, and a post usually posts content. So seeing a post toward a web page, it's highly likely that there would be interesting information in that form. So in that regard, you can right click on the post you see here. So I don't think we can see the number to request. It's a packet 195 if you follow along. You can do right click, then follow, then TCP or HTTP stream, whichever you would like. And you should see something like this here, where you see the post. And one thing you might want to find interesting is what I highlight here, which is the username and the password of the person logging in. So at this point, if you don't have a username and password, let me share it with you. It's superadmin@alphamail.ctf, and the password is hunter2. So you should find it. So I repeat, to reproduce this, right click on packet 195, follow TCP stream, and you should be able to reproduce this. One other thing you might need in order to solve this challenge is the source code of the application. For the source code, the way to do it is, let me once again start in. So in order to export a file, so you wanted to export a file, you go to Files, then Export Objects, then HTTP, and you'll see all the files that you have that you want. So if, say, you wanted to download the button.png, for example, you would select on button.png and click on Save, and you would be able to extract a file this way. That's all I have for you as hints for now. If you got any questions, I'll be in the chat, and we'll give you another hint in perhaps 30 minutes. Thank you very much. The
into the infinite. 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 Cause and every price. Tired news around my eyes. Thank your blend and roll the dice as you make your sacrifice. I'm your muse and you're my vice. To our favorite paradise. Take my hand only twice. We can't run out of time. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the I'm alive and you're my vice. I surrender, you entice. Till we can't resist the tide. We'll keep falling into time. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the infinite. Into the I'm alive and you're my vice. I surrender, you entice. Till we can't resist the tide. We'll keep falling into time. Into the infinite. Watch the sand fall in love. We're out of time. Into the infinite. And you're my vice. To our favorite paradise. Take my hand only twice. Till we can't run out of time. Into the infinite. 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 Thoughts and every price. Tired news around my eyes. Fake your plan and roll the dice as you make your sacrifice. I'm your muse and you're my vice. To our favorite paradise. Take my hand only twice. We can't run out of time. Into the infinite. And you're my vice. I'm your favorite paradise. We conquer the divide. Never out of time. Your thoughts and every price. Tired news around my eyes. Fake your plan and roll the dice as you make your sacrifice. I'm your muse and you're my vice. To our favorite paradise. Take my hand only twice. Till we can't run out of time. Into the infinite fire. And you're my vice. I'm your favorite paradise. We conquer the divide. We'll never out of time. Your fire and you're my vice. I'm your favorite paradise. Till we conquer the divide. We'll never out of time. Infinite.
All right, guys. People have been starting to ask for a hint. I will share a hint that should help you finish a challenge for those who did not finish it yet. And I even have slides for this. So, oops. Can anyone name this attack? Well, the attack you need to do is called session puzzling. And basically, the type of flow you're going to have is when two different process or two different part of the software use the same variable for two different reasons. So oftentimes we see these types of flaw when you have more than one dev and both developers are using the same session server side, same session variable server side, but without telling the other, and then that can cause problem on the logic of the behavior of the tool. So if I had to give you a fairly large hint, I would tell you to look at how variables are used and if there are ways for you to change the behavior of how the workflow is done. Thanks.
dry all my tears. No, I'm not looking for someone to scare away the fears. No, I know it's not gonna happen. Don't believe in happy forever after. No one should have to feel this torn. We're unable to speak with voices to soar. We could do better than this. We could do better than this. When you stand in the middle of the crowd, I wanna know it's me that you're missing. We could do better than this. We are much bigger than this. When you stand in the middle of the crowd, I wanna know it's me that you're missing. Me that you're missing. Me that you're missing. We could do better than this. It's not that you're not strong, or that you know what I need. In the past I played along, so devoted I lost parts of me. This time it's not gonna happen. Don't need happy forever after. I let go of past if you do too. To leave now would be running from the truth. We could do better than this. We could do better than this. When you stand in the middle of the crowd, I wanna know it's me that you're missing. We could do better than this. We are much bigger than this. When you stand in the middle of the crowd, I wanna know it's me that you're missing. Me that you're missing. Me that you're missing. We could do better than this. Better. We could do better. Better. This is clearly unsettling, but you focus on the petty things, and I'm a fool for your subtlety. I'm attracted to the stranger things. I'm delusional and deranged, it seems. I'm falling underneath. Well, filling the gaps of where you used to care. My mind's of the earth, but my heart's up in the air. Fuel the flame, we play with kerosene. You and I, we mix like water and gasoline. Fuel the flame, we play with kerosene. Fuel the flame, we play with kerosene. We play with kerosene. We play with kerosene. Well, I finally broke my fate. You see, burning bridges, feel the flame. We play with kerosene. Told you people stay away. They call us crazy. Isolated times, dilated. You're confined by your relativity. We're all filling the gaps from where you used to jumping through hoops, so you don't have to. Making you smile as long as I can. Storm clouds are coming, and it's best if you prepare. But if we get tomorrow, I promise I can try. Give you love to borrow, if just to get us by. And sometime when you're ready, I'll soften up the blow. Our love was never made to last, and I don't wanna give you back to hold on to. To hold on to. To hold on to. Too many takers, not enough give. I let you hear music and covered your bruises. So if we get tomorrow, I promise I can try. Give you love to borrow, if just to get us by. Sometime when you're ready, I'll soften up the blow. Our love was never made to last, and I don't wanna give you back to hold on to. To hold on
All right, guys. So I'm gonna explain this challenge, but first I'd like to explain how I designed this challenge. Um, there's something I really dislike in CTF, and it's guessing. When you have to do a challenge and you have to read the designer's mind, it's something I feel is both unfair and very frustrating. So when I design challenges, I try to give the participant as many information as possible in order to solve it. One of the challenge I did that I like the most, it's on a ring 0 right now. It's called Russian roulette cryptography or something like this. And as this one, it starts with a Pcap, and from there you have all the information to go further. And I think that when people design challenges, doing this is often more interesting for people who do the CTF than having to guess blindly. So I try to go to do some more code review or design flaws. Um, Now, session puzzling is an attack that I described just before that is not very common. I had this before, so I conduct interviews for employees, and I had this as a question for employees: what is session puzzling? And I've never had somebody who was able to answer me. So it's really not known. So I felt it was a good moment to bring that attack. As I mentioned before, for a long time, the website Mega Upload was vulnerable to this attack. And we really see this type of attack really when there are more than one developer and they share some variable names. I wonder, so I don't know any good methodology to find these types of bugs except in a white box. Like I don't see how you can, or it should be pretty difficult to test this process in a black box fashion. I would be really curious to see how. But if people are doing bug bounties, I am certain that very few people look for these types of flaws. So it would be a good moment to start looking for it because I'm fairly sure nobody knows about this type of attack. So perhaps there's good money to be made. I've already shown you step 1, but basically you using Wireshark, you're able to see the username and password. So superadmin@alphamail.ctf. Step 2, once you visit the website, you get this lovely web page telling you what are your favorite 128 random characters. One thing you should know in CTF is we try to make it as obvious when you're going in the wrong path. Like in this case, I try to make it as obvious as possible that you should not try to brute force this. I mean, you could, but with the type of question there is, I hope it was clear enough for you that you should not have to brute force this type of question. So I try to make this to be as clear as possible so that you don't waste time on something just because it wasn't clear. As a CTF organizer, we need to be more clear in what type of challenge we're doing. I hear questions. Are there questions so far? Give me a moment. So many. All right. Step 3, I've shown you already. Since you were able to log in and you did. Oh well. Let me. Since I am I just noticed I have a problem with my camera. Since you are able to log in since you are not able to log in, let's go further. So you can download the source code. And downloading the source code, you can read the source code and see first. You see that all the queries are parameterized queries, which means that it's unlikely to be vulnerable to SQL injection. I know some people felt it was a SQL injection. For 3 points at NorthSec, I think bypassing parameterized query would be worth, I hope, a little bit more. So that's not the idea. Really, what you should look to do is understand what it does. And basically, what it does is if you have logged recently, it takes your email and puts it in session. Otherwise, it either returns you for a security for a security question, or you have a wrong password. And this by itself is safe. Now, we can imagine that some developer later on wanted to add the feature where he wanted to lock accounts if somebody was trying to brute force a password. So what he did, oh, sorry, I'm going ahead. So, but what he did is he added another part of the code where he said, if there's a bad password, I want to keep in mind what account did you lock, just to be safe that next time I can tell you how much time there is for what user. So this part of the code will put the input you give it and put it as the session variable email as well. They both have the name email, but they are used for a different reason in the organization and in the software, which means that this can be allowed to bypass the process. Now, some people have tried as well to unbase64 the session and not play with the app at all. They said, I have the app secret in the source code. I could just craft myself a session, sign it with the app secret, and log in, which would be a very which would work actually. Despite people logging off in Flask, by default, session are just deleted client side, but the session is still valid by default. So this would have worked, but because that's not the attack I want you guys to test, we changed the app secret. So the app secret you have in the source code is not the same as the one you have in production. Otherwise, also you would get a remote code execution because there's pickles behind it, and you would be able to do remote code exec, which is not what we want. So some people who tried this, good idea. And most of the time when you would have the source code of an app with the secret, you could do these type of things. In this case, we kind of cheated because we did not want you just to do the simple solution. So the solution, well, as you see here, if you lock ourselves or we lock any account, that email will be sent to the in session, and this way you can bypass it. So let's look at a demo. So let's try to have a demo. So this is our web page. So I tried logging in with super admin and my super password hunter2. And I'm being prompted with what are my 128 favorite characters, which of course we knew we would not be able to do it. If at this point I was to visit download, I'm being told, sorry, you must be logged in to view your downloads. So I cannot directly request the domain. Instead, let's lock any account. So I'm just typing gibberish here and some random password. And now a non-existing account got us locked out. Now that we are locked, let's say I tried again for this user. Now we're being told that this username is banned for a certain amount of seconds. This means that we have the variable email in session. Since the variable email is in session, then we can go /download. And then we're able to download to bypass the login. And as you see here, we have the 3 files that we need. In this case, we can click on flag.txt and we will get flag.txt. And same for the other files, which you already got. So this way to solve this, I repeat, it's quite simple. Once you understand that any blocked email will send you to the, will put the email in cache, all you do is you write the wrong password and then you log in. And then you go to download. And it's that simple. So when you look at how to do it, it can only be performed with a browser. The idea is you need to get an understanding about the steps and why it does it. Some people, to be honest, found it by mistake, but they were not able to understand why they did it. And I guess that's if I had to improve this this challenge, I would make it a little bit more difficult to figure it out by mistake. But I felt that adding more code would have made it harder to find as well. So I think it's a decent balance. I'm interested to know how else you would have done it. Perhaps there's another solution. I'm gonna see over chat if there are any questions, either on Twitch or on Discord. There doesn't appear to be any questions. Oh, perhaps there is. All right, well, there doesn't appear to be any more questions. So then the next part, we have a guest. We have Plax or Olivier, who will be explaining the second part of the challenge. That's the Pcap. All right, so thank you so much, and here's to you, Olivier.
Thanks, Laurent. We're gonna quickly switch over to my computer and bear with us. How do I entire screen? I hope that's the good one. How does this look like? Does the there's okay, it's like my whole two screens. Okay, I guess I'll do it one thing at a time, starting with Wireshark. So let me share again. Where is my Wireshark? Here. Okay, up. Okay, look at this. So are we ready? Yes, excellent. Okay. Basically, the Laurent, when we looked at the challenge, he said there is an additional bonus challenge in this, and when I built the Pcap for tonight, because you can see that there was our domain embedded in it, so we needed to redo it and host the server. I was kind of intrigued by this bonus, and I was afraid, since if you look at export object HTTP, you can see that the download number 2, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and see if that works. The download number 2 is in there, but not the download number 3. So I was worried that I broke because I downloaded both like 2 and 3. I was worried that I broke somehow the challenge, but it turns out I didn't. So although you bypassed the login on the web application, so basically you could go on your own and grab the third download on your own without the Pcap. I still want to do it through the Pcap because it's not visible in there, and I want to show a little method. I think the reason why it's not visible is because of these segment not captured, and duplicate hacks that started showing up here. I don't know why that happens. Probably too much. My kids are streaming too much at home or something like that. But I think that's why they don't show up. So now, how do we go up and list? So zoom on this thing here. That method. No, HTTP dot request dot method equals get. Then with this, we see all the get requests. These requests, I'm kind of worried that the zooming doesn't work. Does zooming works? Can someone confirm me on Twitch if it works? It doesn't. The zoom in doesn't work. Okay. Well, then it's small, but maybe if I don't use it full screen, how does that look like? Let's wait for the delay a little bit. Sorry about that. So we can do something like this.
The size is fine according to people on Twitch. It's no, it goes well.
Okay, excellent. So as you can see, I highlighted the download 3. So we have the get here, although it was not visible under the export object interface. And if we do a follow TCP stream, then we have the whole thing. And it doesn't seem to be, corrupted more than, a bunch of base64 would be. So now what we could do is filter. Oh, I need to share another window. Sorry, 1 sec. Can I? Hop. Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, there doesn't seem to be any corruption here. What we can do is filter to get just the server side of the conversation, so just the reply, and we see again MIME encoding and base64 at the top. So we know that we're dealing here with an email again. So what we're gonna do is gonna do save as, and then I'm gonna save it right here. Oh, I don't know how to name it. I'm gonna take the subject, so memno books. I'm gonna name it like that. .eml, which is probably the right extension for stuff like that if you want to open it in Windows. But me, I'm gonna decode it differently. So we're done with the Wireshark now. I'm gonna open my terminal.
Which you need to share.
Share. I know. Up. Here we go. Yeah. So I have it here, memnobooks.email. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just show a bit of the nature of what we extracted here. So you can see the HTTP reply was here. So this has nothing to do with email. Let's get rid of the block. Then we start with a MIME version and something that is SMTP, so email exchange protocol compliant, which means that we can probably use something like that. Now, if you go just through the thing and select all and do a base64 decode, you'll be missing out some information. Here's why. The content type of the email is on a multi-part mixed, and there's a boundary given to you. So a quick tip here is to do a search on that boundary and then list how many parts is there to the email visually with your eyes. You'll see we have first this small section, which is probably something about it being plain text and HTML. I'm not sure. Now we have this, which says content type application zip name stuff. So we know that we have one zip and another one here, sherlock.zip. So there are two zip files. This is very important because if you just basically select all and paste it, you would have probably missed one, or maybe notice an error and find it. So this is just a quick primer on email format. The thing I use, I remove the header, so I need to save. So the thing I use to decode email is very simple. It's called decrypt mail. It was done by Marc-Étienne Léveillé, and I added the multi-part support nested, so an email attached to an email. But it's something very basic. Basically, it's Python and email sys.os. It goes through these MIME and it will extract anything that is a binary on the file system. So if we run that through what you get is the text of the core of the message, which talks about here is the file unencrypted, looking for Sherlock Holmes stuff. And what you can see at the bottom is stuff.zip and Sherlock.zip were extracted. Now let's have a look at these files. So if we list if we list the files in stuff, we can see that there is a file called flag.txt and a file called pj1661.txt. Let's try to extract from stuff the flag, and it requests a password. So okay, let's do pg1661.txt as a password. Incorrect. Okay, I don't know. Now let's look at the other email, because the email talked about previously, like, here's the file unencrypted. So he didn't want to send a password, so he wanted to keep that other file secret, I guess. So if we look at unzip, we have the content, and if we the same file in it, and if we unzip it and look at the file UTF-8, so it is definitely the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So we have a huge amount of something we know. So basically, what we can guess about this is, why would there be an encrypted and an unencrypted email with the same content if clearly this is not part of a larger class of attack? Here, what you need to think about is there a way to leverage a known plaintext attack to crack zip faster? Why the known plaintext? This is like crypto jargon from the crypto magicians to say, I'm aware of the plaintext inside that message, at least a large part of it. And so if you Google that, I'll try to share my. Can I switch? Changer de fenêtre. Yes, I can. If we look at this window, and if we Google zip cracking known plain text, what you'll find is BK crack and then PK crack. Both tools. One is a recent one, clunky to use a little bit. But I used it for the Monday evening, but the PK crack is a little bit easier to use, so we're gonna use this one. But you find both of these tools, and they are leveraging a known plaintext attack. You can read about it. It's called the Beham and Kosher known plaintext attack on legacy zip encryption. Fortunately enough, this zip file was crafted to have this flaw in it. So now let's look at how can we use the tool. So basically, I built it already, but you need to figure it out, download it, build it. I think it's on some Arch repository somewhere, bragging about my distro here, doing some CrossFit, Linux CrossFit. So we have here how to use the tool, and we're basically just gonna redo this in my terminal. Let me put you back on my terminal. Okay, so we do encrypted zip. So this capital C encrypted zip is the stuff one. Lowercase c, the ciphertext that I'm aware of. Now, capital P for the plaintext zip, Sherlock. Lowercase p for the file name of the thing that is in plaintext in there. and then we're gonna finish with -A for as soon as you have a candidate key, stop the attack. So it's not doing an exhaustive one. It just makes it a ton faster. And capital -D for output. And this tool outputs in a zip file. So it recreates a zip file without encryption. So we're gonna output in flag.zip. Now this takes a couple of seconds, maybe up to a minute. And it looks just like, for those familiar, just like Terminator 2, basically. We're gonna look at something going on, and we feel like we're hacking because we're drinking, something at the same time as we're watching. The computer do the work for us. And eventually, so we have some information here about stuff, stages, and elite stuff. And now decrypting flag.txt, decrypting the other one, and it will have recreated a flag.zip. So if we unzip from flag.zip, flag.txt, well, we can list it first, like who am I to assume that it worked, right? So we list it, we see that there is a flag.txt, unzip it, look at it, and we got the flag, which is flag-crypto stands for cryptozoology. Another joke by Laurent here. And so that was the solution for the bonus zip file. So uh, let me give, let me share back to Laurent, I guess. But what we're gonna do now is do the outro, the kind of an exit interview, if you want. Not that we're firing Laurent, don't get it like that. But just like have context around the challenge, know a bit about Laurent's, how he designs challenges and stuff. And then we're gonna do the Secret Hitler or Jackbox TV for those who want to stick around. So, Laurent.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Great. I don't know what we're gonna show up on screen, and I'm gonna let Julien adjust us a little bit before we start talking. And yeah, we let us know what you think about the cameras. I think they add some stuff to watch, but maybe they're just a nuisance. So let us know. And I know I'm badly cropped tonight. My office is a mess. I have renovation work at home. We're redesigning, remodeling a bathroom, and so don't I don't know. Like, bear with me. I'm gonna get a better camera angle next time or something like that. But yeah, tonight that's what it's gonna be. So yeah, Laurent. We spoiled a little bit early on tonight that this was about a wink at mega upload. So I missed a part of your solution. Did you explain the original flaw or did you not?
It was pretty much the same flaw. It was a little bit more subtle, where the first thing you had to do was to lock the account when get in. Once that account was locked, it was seen from the database that you had logged in. So your IP was added to the whitelist of people of like your recent login. So once you waited for the timer to expire, that was 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, if you re-logged in, then you were allowed in.
Was it discovered externally or like how did it become something known to the public?
I'm not sure it got known to the public. It's something that's been shared among like-minded friends.
What?
I don't think it's public. Let me check if it's public. Let's do a
That's funny.
quick Google.
Enthusiast file sharing enthusiasts
Mega
had
upload.
were aware of the problem.
Well,
Mega,
Google
I
tells
remember
me
some pretty big bugs when they did their redesign. The
there was a
JavaScript.
big crypto problem with.
Okay, so that was not this one, right?
No, that wasn't this one. But I actually used that other bug for another crypto challenge like 2 years ago at NorthSec.
Okay.
Spoiler alerts, my challenges are oftentimes really inspired by either news, really cool bugs, or things my team finds in real life.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good segue into inspiration. So basically, you listed the various means, but then like you start from the idea and then you just flesh out codes. So for this fluff, for example, you had a sense of how it was happening server side, and you just decided, okay, I'm gonna write a small web application. And since the bug was non-obvious without source code, you figured like a way to leak the source code yourself, or someone.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it, because
that's pretty
as I
clever.
mentioned, I really hate guessing challenges. Like CTF where you need to guess, I hate that so much that I try to give as much as possible to people so they can have a hint where to go at least. Because otherwise, I feel it's disrespectful to people doing the challenge.
Trying to solve the challenge. Yeah, I think it also evolved a lot compared to the early days of the DEFCON quals 2012 versus now, where challenge are now being more elegant than obscure, right? It's all about, it's obvious, but you need to do something difficult, or you know know
But we
about some obscure paper, but it's like it's there. You can Google it. It's just maybe on the 7th page, not on the first one.
we get more experience now. Like doing challenges, we get experience more and more. I have done really bad challenges, and I've done challenges that were really broken, like that you could easily bypass in a way that I completely didn't intend. So now it's my 8th year doing challenge for NerdSec, something along these lines. Uh, you get to know more and more, and also I got lots of feedback for people who were doing challenges. Some people were really vocal about some challenges, and I got all that feedback.
Good. I just checking if we had any questions. If you have questions for Laurent, I'm not gonna monitor all rooms, so ask them in the hackerspace on Discord. I do. Can I see here the chat? I don't right now, but it can happen. Okay, I'm monitoring uh, the Twitch as well. Laurent, you said 8 years for NorthSec. It's not from the beginning. I think it's from the second year, correct?
No, I was every year I was involved,
Every
including the
year or
first one.
so.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
even
wow.
did challenges for the dreaded Hackost 3 that never happened.
Okay, yeah. Some of us are aware of that old time story. Throughout these years, you've contributed a lot, I think, to NorthSec. Uh, ha- like you always drew inspiration from real life situation. Did you have any challenges where you were unsure if you could, like it was so obvious that it could be dangerous to share?
Well, there was one year where I had a zeroed in Chrome that I was wondering whether or not I should release it. It was not a big zeroed in Chrome though, but I wasn't sure if I should share it with Google or use it for the CTF.
And
I
what
ended
did
up
you do?
using for the CTF,
All right.
but it wasn't a big problem. So the challenge was there's a way in JavaScript to do what is called DOM clobbering. Basically, it's a way to the way the DOM is visited in a web page. There's a way to change the way it's parsed so that when you're parsing the DOM, you would go in instead of another path than the usual one. So this way you can alter the behavior of a JavaScript file. And there was a problem with V8 parsing of DOM that could be used to do something that was novel in that time, that is do DOM clubbering three paths down. There was no known way at that point to do it more than 2 paths down. So that was my little tiny 0-day that I used for NorthSec. I think there was another zero. Well, it wasn't a 0-day, but there was a problem with Wikipedia. On NorthSec, the first one, there was a cryptographic problem with SRP, the Stanford Remote Protocol, or Secure Remote Password, depending what version you're talking about. And basically, the article in Wikipedia was wrong. So lots of people were using the Wikipedia implementation, and that led to a pretty simple bypass. And I think the only team that got it was the team from Boston at that year. They had a really strong cryptographic guy. That wasn't a 0-day per se, but it was something that pretty much all the library using the Wikipedia implementation were vulnerable. So it was fairly big the first year.
I mean, how weird is that the reference implementation on Wikipedia has a bug? Like this has to be an essay style implant, doing ha 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 ha. We're gonna put a bug. Did you track down on the history who posted the code or something? Like what
There's
IP
the NSA is involved in that story though.
is it?
Yeah, because the first time it came, it was in a router. I don't recall which one. I think it was not the routers, the NSA key router. It was the Cisco routers. So Cisco routers had a key called NSA key that had this exact flaw, and the internet went
They use
wild.
SRP?
It's possible to use SRP.
Oh yeah, because I thought this was something that never took off, like not necessarily uh, something popular, and I thought it was web mostly.
But well, it can be used. But so in around 2001, I think, the Cisco routers had this feature called NSA key, but it's not for it doesn't, and it was vulnerable to a bypass, so you could log into any Cisco routers. But it was a bug, and NSA did not stand for National Security Agency, but for something else. But people on the internet like went wild and said that's the NSA backdooring Cisco, and yeah, but it wasn't the case. And I hope the NSA
choose
is
your
good.
framework acronym wisely.
I would hope that if the NSA put a backdoor, they would not call it the NSA backdoor.
Well, internally, but not in the source code.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. I wanted to ask another question, going in another direction. Do you have anything up your sleeve for 2021 that you can leak to the dear Montreal folks that will never share it to anyone
Of
outside
course.
here?
Well, one type of challenge that I really, really like are captchas. I've done like, I don't know, perhaps 8 captchas, something like along those lines. Some of them are still on ring 0, by the way. Last year, for the non-physical NorthSec, there was no captcha challenge. So I think it would be likely that if next year NorthSec was to be on site, it's highly likely that there would be a captcha challenge.
All right. I mean, those in the know knew or expected, but it's a decent leak for a lot of folks who can maybe prepare by revisiting your previous captcha. Some of them are in our archives, just a little plug here, but others are on Ring Zero, and some are probably due for a leak of some sort, or a share or something, or maybe another Montreal hack. We shall see. Usually I try to talk about work, but this is awkward since we're colleagues and we work for the same company. And I know I know exactly what you do, but I guess I guess, yeah. Can you describe? Okay, I found an angle. Okay, can you talk to us about how CTF, either designing or playing, influenced your career?
Well, there was several ways CTFs influenced my career. The first thing is it's a really good way to stay humble. Like, when I was in college, I felt I knew a lot about computer security. And when I started doing CTF, I learned I didn't know so much. It's really good for humility to do CTF. Now, CTF have many usage. I think it's great practice for the kind of field we're doing. We don't want to break the law, obviously, because, well, for the kind of job we're doing, it's not something like we don't hire criminals. So it's a really good way to get the skills you need without going to jail, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
Now that
useful.
now that I'm recruiting, so I've changed from doing pen tests to managing people who do pen tests, and it's quite a different challenge. Uh, and I get to meet people who do CTF for a living, and I find that they are typically better than those who don't. Simply because there's an attitude that comes with it. Let's write some code, we'll figure it out. Things are not always clean and neat when you do a CTF, but they work. So now doing CTF, still, I think seeing people do CTF is a good way to find hires. And it's a full loop because some findings that people in my team find, or that they miss, but I find that happens sometimes, is also influences me for to do challenges. I cannot tell them this more as this is a public feed, but somebody in my team did a mistake, and from that mistake, we were able to. I was able to find something that tester did not find, and I was able to use this to write a challenge that he tried solving it at NorthSec. You need to know that people in my team, they do some attend NorthSec, and we work really hard not to share anything, no challenges, nor which is really difficult because sometimes I'm working on a challenge and I'm working on something and I need somebody's advice and I cannot share anything with anybody. Why I'm really happy to have Olivier and Philippe Artaud, whom I've spent several evenings, he and I back and forth sharing challenges, because otherwise, like, you need to have someone to talk to, otherwise you get crazy. Yeah, so that's it. Did I answer your question? I went on
Yeah,
a rant.
definitely. Most
Okay.
definitely. Do you have the Twitch open? Do you see the feed?
Yes, I do. Yes.
You want to explain that picture? We're gonna finish on this.
Yeah. Well, this is a troll, obviously. I don't wear an eye patch. Um. So recently, the organization I work for did a press release about hiring lots of people, and that kind of got in the media, and I got lucky to be involved with lots of media. And I'm not sure how much you guys are experienced dealing with media, but it's sometimes a challenge. I don't think they're ill-intentioned, just they come from a much different background than IT security, so some questions could be either loaded without them willing, or some questions could appear naive, but they're not. So the one question I got the most often was, can you hack ATMs? Turns out, yes, some people in my team hacked ATMs, and we still, this year as well, we have several engagements where we still have to hack ATMs. And that really impressed the media person, and called me a gentil pirate, a friendly pirate. And the cover, well, the second page of the Journal de Montréal told like, or gentil pirate. And at that point, people in my from where I work, some of them wanted to attend NorthSec. So of course, as a good troll, they called their team name Les Gentils Pirates, and they needed a picture, so they took this picture and added the eye patch, the sword, and the lovely little hat.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so funny and yeah, and I don't know, honest and that's just also for someone who's been doing this for several years, it's kind of a cool pat in the back, right? You're like, okay, yeah, I have my cult following. People like no, but people willing to spend time in Photoshop for me. It's kind of, it's
But
not a
I have an awesome team, to be honest. I'm like really happy about my team, so I cannot complain.
Well, thank you so much, Laurent. We're gonna switch over to the games, and I invite everyone to, as soon as I stop talking, because I'm gonna talk for a minute, I invite everyone to move over to Benelux Virtuel, including you, Laurent, if you still have a few minutes for us.
Yeah, of course.
So what is gonna happen there is everyone will be unmuted, and you will be able to talk directly to Laurent, and nothing will be recorded on the stream. So it's all a lot less formal. So feel free to move over there. Last thing I wanted to say is that give us a few minutes. I'm gonna try to find a form that I wanted to share, but what I want to do is invite people to consider presenting at Montreal Hack, like Laurent did today. We need presenters. It's all volunteers. If you solve the CTF challenge, if you want to solve one and present it, like we have a lot of challenge designer because we're really close to NorthSec. But I would really like to extend beyond that. Someone who took a hard DEFCON Quals challenge, solved it, or even didn't solve it, read the write-up but understands it enough to explain it. And as you know, the pyramid of learning says if you listen to a talk, you retain like 20-15%. If try something at a workshop, you retain like 50-70%. But if you teach something, you retain like 95-100%. So this idea can be done out of a self-improvement desire, because it's very difficult to explain something as smoothly as Laurent did today. But it's a good exercise, and we are, I think, a very understanding crowd. And the virtual tables, I think, work really well tonight. So we're kind of doing our best in this context. Best next to meet in person. That said, I would like also to expand to other groups. So I would like to have someone from New York, or some other big CTF explain a challenge. So here, what I need is ideas of challenges, because I haven't played CTF in a while. So if you guys did one recently, like the Google CTF or the what, I don't know which one, and a specific challenge that you have in mind that you think can be done in 3 hours, if with the proper hints, I would like to know about it, because I'm not afraid of going after the guy who designed it. But right now I just have no idea, because I haven't played any CTF besides NorthSec for a while, due to busy life and career. But with your help, we can make this happen, and I think this would raise the group's profile significantly if we go outside of the Montreal area. And I'm just willing to try it. Maybe it will not be as interesting as I anticipate, but if we don't try anything, we don't innovate. um, I think that's all I had to say. Oh yeah, another thing. I'm gonna share a link. So the link is for any plugs for other challenge designer that you would like come up here. Um, any stuff that you would like to present yourself, or sponsorship opportunities. So this edition was sponsored by GoSecure and NorthSec. They logo here. Imagine our logos here right now. They provided infrastructure, hosting, and also basically our backers of all our operations. So NorthSec, for instance, helped our Christmas party last year significantly. If you have a company that you think is interested in sponsoring, we can reserve a few seconds beginning of the monthly hack for stuff in exchange for a little bit of money, which help us pay for hosting and software licenses. We're trying to automate more of that stuff, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of free stuff out there to do so. So that would be really appreciated. And I think that's it. What we're gonna do now is move all over to the Benelux Virtual Table, Vocal Salon, chat room. And for those who want to play both like Secret Hitler or Jackbox, stick around. We're going to reorganize and talk about it on a chat. See you around. And there's a poll that I'm not sure what it's about, but do the poll. Do Julien's poll.